On this episode of O'Fallon Matters, learn how to apply for a city permit hassle-free. Visit O'Fallon's brand new environmental services building and learn more about an important police department partnership designed to keep kids drug-free. All this and more next on O'Fallon Matters. Hello and welcome to O'Fallon Matters. An accident can change your life in the blink of an eye, as these local students found out during an all-too-real demonstration. We're starting off this episode of O'Fallon Matters with a trip to Fort Zumwalt West to see firsthand the dangers of drinking and driving.
Twisted metal and shattered glass. Terrible, life-altering injuries. And a DUI arrest. During prom season, this scenario plays out hundreds of times across the United States every year. And while the footage you're watching is just a simulation, it's an all-too-real demonstration of what could happen if drinking and driving is part of the plan on prom night. To drive home the importance of driving sober, the Fort Zumwalt School District teamed up with O'Fallon Police, paramedics, and firefighters to stage this scenario in front of the junior and senior classes of Fort Zumwalt West.
So the demo we're going to have here today is we're going to show the dangers of driving under the influence. We're going to have two vehicles involved. We're going to have a student that is going to have been killed in the car accident, one that's going to suffer the consequences from a legal standpoint, will be arrested from the O'Fallon Police Department, and the consequences of that on the other injuries that can come from this.
Prom is supposed to be a night to remember, but for students who have had their lives irrevocably changed by a drunk driving incident, it's memorable for all the wrong reasons. In this demonstration, one student was declared deceased at the scene and zipped into a body bag as his Fort Zumwalt West peers watched in silence. Passengers from both cars were carefully removed from the tangled wrecks before being strapped to backboards and hurried into waiting ambulances. While this specific scenario involved drunk driving, it could just as easily apply to any distracted driving scenario. And the professional first responders hope the message resonates with the students watching it unfold.
We believe it helps the students to just give them awareness of the dangers that are out there from driving what we call under the 4Ds, driving under drowsy, drunk, drugged, or distracted. So not only is it important to realize that driving drunk is very dangerous, driving distracted, such as texting or carelessness driving, is just as dangerous.
It's easy to rattle off statistics about drunk or distracted driving. For example, car accidents are the leading cause of death for teens, and nearly a third of those fatal accidents involve alcohol or drugs. And according to AAA, 84% of intoxicated teens are more likely to get behind the wheel than call home for help. But it's also easy to say that an accident like this won't happen to me, and many drivers, teens included, ignore the dangers of driving impaired. That's why student Carter Adams wanted to educate his friends at Fort Zumwalt West by helping organize this event, which included student actors from the school drama department. After seeing YouTube videos of other schools participating in car crash demos, he knew it was the perfect way to truly demonstrate the consequences of mixing cars with alcohol.
I just think it'd be a great idea to bring an awareness to teenagers about how their decisions can affect the rest of their life, and to have a safe, fun-fulfilled prom without making decisions that could harm themselves or others.
I was playing the jerky drunk driver. He had a lot of alcohol, and he crashed, T-boned that car, unfortunately.
I'm covered in blood. I was actually a passenger in the drunk driving car, and I ended up getting airlifted. It felt so surreal when we were just acting it out. I thought it was actually happening for real.
If this scenario were a real event, the lives of those involved would have been changed forever. But the impact of this collision extends far beyond the 7 people riding in these 2 cars, as the families, friends, and classmates of these teens would face a lifetime of guilt and regret as a result of this decision to drive impaired.
What happened?
One thing is clear: accidents like this can happen to anyone, and everyone involved hopes that those watching think twice before drinking and driving.
The message that I hope that they take away from this is to have a fun prom, but to not make bad decisions and decisions that could affect you or others for the rest of their lives.
That you may not think it happens to you until it does, but you should always be aware of your surroundings. You shouldn't be distracted.
Life is short, and you shouldn't ruin it by being stupid. That one small decision will ruin your life forever and ruin other people's lives as well.
The City of O'Fallon just opened up a new facility that's capable of handling all the needs of our Environmental Services Department. Joe Meyer is here with a tour of their new home.
Over the past 20 years, the City of O'Fallon has prospered into the second largest city in the St. Louis metropolitan area. Because of high growth, the city needed larger facilities to keep up with citizen demand for expanded services like trash and recycling. And to better handle O'Fallon's growing fleet of trucks, O'Fallon's Environmental Services Department recently moved into a new building that will meet their needs now and into the future.
We decided to expand the environmental services facility just because we were just very limited where we were. We had space and we had the offices for customer service, but we really didn't have the kind of facility we needed. And what this new facility provides is just so much more for the drivers, the trucks, and the employees out here.
When you walk through this huge new building, you'll notice that several areas are employee friendly.
Well, this facility is much better for our employees for a lot of reasons. For the customer service, it gives them an area they're not cramped in. We had 3 women that were just in an area that was so small. Now they've got room to work, room to spread out their papers, and be able to answer questions for the residents when they call in a much better fashion. For the other employees, the drivers, they've got now a training room and a facility where they can sit down and we can do proper trainings with televisions and equipment that we can use to get them the training that they need. It also provides areas for the mechanics. They can work on trucks out of the weather. The facilities we had before, many times they were out in the weather working on the trucks.
And there is enough room for the entire fleet to park during inclement weather. Parking these vehicles under cover gives them an enhanced lifespan, which is a plus for O'Fallon taxpayers.
The purpose of the facility, some of it with parking the trucks, is going to be such a benefit. We've got the facility big enough that we can put all of our trucks inside during inclement weather. Basically, we wouldn't keep the trucks inside all year round. That would be a little bit of a problem. In this business, those trucks in heat would be smelling awfully bad, and you wouldn't want them inside. For some of the time of the year, we'll park outside, and some of the times we'll park inside.
O'Fallon's Environmental Services Department handles the pickup of trash, bulk items, recyclables, and yard waste for residents all year around. If you would like to find out more information on pickup days or any other information, we suggest that you check out O'Fallon's website at www.o'fallon.mo.us.
Our Code Enforcement Division is on the front lines in making sure any home improvements are performed safely and correctly. Improving and maintaining your biggest investment is one of the responsibilities and joys of home ownership. In the case of structural changes, major alterations, renovations, or new construction, the law requires the owner or authorized contractor to obtain a building permit.
Well, a permit is basically required to protect the homeowner, the occupants, the contractors, and the public in general. A permit ensures that a city inspector, who's an expert in construction codes, is going to inspect your project. We may find inferior materials, faulty installations, any number of code violations. And so that's going to protect you, your family, your investment, and it's also going to protect the community and give your community standards. Our common residential jobs are decks, basement finishes, gazebos, room additions, garages, basically any basic construction. Small retaining wall projects, like planters out in your front yard, usually don't require a permit. Minor repairs such as electrical and plumbing, if you're replacing an outlet or adding a small circuit. If you have any questions, you can email us, call us, any method on the website. We have lots of guides available. Any questions, we'll be happy to help you out.
The city's online permitting portal makes it easier than ever to research and apply for your residential and commercial permits.
If you're an experienced contractor, for instance, you can simply log on to our website and apply online, submit your documents, and step back and wait for us for the approval. If you're a homeowner, we can again go to our website. We have guides available for most of our major projects, pools, decks, fences. Follow along the guides. That'll walk you through the entire process, the requirements. Most residential permits take 5 to 7 days during the summer months. It's usually quicker during the winter months. Commercial takes 10 to 15 days. Now that's giving that you would give us all the required submittal documents. If it's denied for some reason, we'll call you up, work with you to give us a resubmittal on the documents we need, and so typically less than 2 weeks. Depending on the project, we can have any number of inspections from 1 to 4 or 5. Those inspections will be listed on your permit card, telling which ones you need to call in for. And if you have any questions, it's better to call us, and we'd be happy to come out and take a look rather than something getting covered up or missed.
Remember, even with a permit from the city, you'll likely need to contact your homeowners association to ensure any improvements or alterations are allowed in your neighborhood.
We aren't here to just enforce the code, but to ensure your family is safe, your investment is safe, and your community is maintaining those standards. And if you still have questions, again, you can call us, or email us, and one of our experts will help get you through the job.
Next on O'Fallon Matters, we'll catch up with a local high school girls soccer team that's alive and kicking midway through the season. Joe Meyer has more on a team with a dream.
The sounds of soccer fill stadiums all over the metro area every spring. Young athletes hit the field in search of goals and championships. In 2017, the Fort Zumwalt West Jaguars girls soccer team is off to a productive start midway through the season. Captains Jenna Westcott, Natalie Rushing, and Kelsey Callahan are anchoring a motivated team that's heading to the top of the GAC South Division.
I think we can go really far. I mean, definitely I want to say district title for sure. I think we can get there, and maybe all the way to state. The sky's the limit for us, so I think we're going to go pretty far.
Obviously, I think I want us to go as far as we can. We haven't won a district title in a while, so that's definitely a goal, and hopefully as far as we can go from there.
It's good to have goals, but the Jaguars need to play to their strengths and improve on weaknesses. Being the best in field takes teamwork and catching fire when opportunity knocks.
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is they all get along really well. From day one, it was like they've been friends for years, and the chemistry's been really, really well. On top of that, I think we have a lot of people who can score goals for us, so there's not one person that the other team can try to shut down throughout the year. As far as weaknesses go, sometimes we kind of fall asleep defensively at times, and hopefully that's something we can correct in the next 3 weeks before districts.
We need to make sure we're consistent from now to the end of the season. We need to make sure we're showing up and playing a full 80 minutes of the game.
Chemistry and positive teamwork make being a Jaguar an honor, which leads to hustle and heart. This team's motivation all starts with their coach. Sean Baldwin continues to have success at Fort Zumwalt West, and he enjoys teaching and mentoring student athletes.
I just enjoy being around, the team, the girls all make it fun, and obviously love the game too. So it's hard to step away. They all have great attitude, so it makes it enjoyable.
He's awesome. Both Baldwin and Kelleher Marino, all our coaches, they're just really awesome. They communicate with us well, and they're always trying different things to see what will help the team better.
He tries to stay as positive as a coach can be, and he does really well, like making sure that we're having a good time on and off the field, and this is something that we're spending a lot of time on throughout the year, so he just wants to make sure that it's really enjoyable and that it's worthwhile, and he does a good job of it.
The 2017 Fort Zumwalt West girls soccer team still has a long way to go before they can achieve their goals. With a fast and furious schedule ahead, it's going to be challenging. The future is bright for this team, And with a refuse-to-lose attitude, the sky is the limit. No matter how the season ends, you can be sure that this team gave their all every play, every day.
The O'Fallon Police Department recently signed on to a new program that is helping parents keep their kids away from drugs. Here's everything you need to know to participate.
Every day in our country, we hear the horrific stories of someone overdosing on drugs. The use of heroin and opioids is skyrocketing, and the problem isn't just contained to one area. The inner cities, suburbs, and rural areas have all been affected. The amount of overdoses in St. Charles County alone averages out to 1 every day. These alarming statistics have put into motion new programs. Just recently, the O'Fallon Police Department announced a new alliance with Test My Teen, an organization that has donated free home drug test kit vouchers to be shared anonymously with parents who need them.
They get their kid at home. It's all inclusive in itself. There's nothing else you have to do. It doesn't have to be sent off. They simply get a urine sample from their child. It's a 10 panel, so there's 10 different drugs, but primarily what we'll see is cocaine, marijuana, opiates, methamphetamine, methadone, are some of the more common ones that are on there.
Peer pressure, as we all know, can affect teens, steering them in the wrong direction just to fit in with the crowd. Test My Teen gives them a socially acceptable excuse to say no to drugs. The words, "My parents test me," will stop those pushy peers in their tracks.
I believe the teenagers nowadays can kind of go down a road less traveled rather quickly with drugs. This allows the parents to get a handle on that sooner than later before the problem is much larger than what they can handle. We recommend this to any family, any parent, relative that even suspects slightly that their kids may be abusing or using drugs. This allows them to get a head start in being involved in the kids' lives and keep them going down the right path.
For more information or to order your free test kit, visit testmyteen.com. There you will also find all the answers to your questions and how to go about testing your teen. There's also a counselor on hand for additional help if needed.
Through grants and financial assistance programs, keeping low to moderate income residents in their homes is the goal of our Public Assistance Department.
The City of O'Fallon receives funding from the federal government in the form of a community development block grant. So what that means for our community is that we're able to provide housing repair programs, transportation assistance, and emergency homeless prevention, as well as to be able to assist with a few public facility improvements to ensure that they're ADA compliant. The bulk of our programming is our home improvement loan program, where we provide zero interest forgivable loans if the resident remains in their home for 5 years, and that's up to a $5,000 loan. We also have our siding program, that's $10,000 grant to be able to address, to install and or repair siding on individuals' homes. And we have our transportation programs. We provide medical transportation for senior citizens to and from their medical appointments, as well as for individuals with disabilities to medical appointments and other essential living type appointments. And lastly, we provide money to an area nonprofit to support emergency homeless prevention to assist O'Fallon residents with mortgage assistance, rental assistance, utility assistance, so that way they're not kicked out of their homes.
To better serve residents with a wider variety of issues, the city has other fundraising tools available.
Each year, the city hosts a golf tournament to raise money for the program Project Home, which stands for Helping O'Fallon Maintain Excellence. This program is geared towards individuals who meet the same income qualifications, same residency qualifications as the home improvement loan program, but can cover a little bit more. So if a resident qualified, we'd be able to offer them the Project Home funding. So Project Home's been around for at least 12 years, and so every year, come to find out, there was a little bit of money left over. You know, we help helped 4 or 5 households a year, because we typically raise about $20,000 at the golf tournament. So that averages $4,000 or $5,000 max on a house. So we've had, $1,000 here, $1,000 there, $500. So that's added up over the years. So what we're going to be able to do, based on some funding that we had to be able to assist residents with housing repairs, we're going to be able to make those changes now. What those changes look like is that for individuals who had already been through the home improvement loan program, they're going to be able to reapply for additional funding, and the same qualifications will apply. They have to meet the same income requirements, they will have to reapply, they will be able to remedy the same eligible repairs, and they will then have a lien put on their home for another 5 years. So let's say they remedied their window issue, but now their HVAC unit, and they're still on that same fixed income, their circumstances haven't changed, but they're still active, involved members of the O'Fallon community. We want to make sure we're able to help them.
Since our public assistance programs are largely supported with federal funds, certain obligations are required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
We do host public hearings twice a year, and so as part of that public hearing process, we invite residents to talk about what they see, what they need, what would best benefit them. The Community Development Block Grant's primary focus is, as it's through community development, is housing. And so here in O'Fallon, what that looks like is housing repair. So majority of our funding does in fact go to address housing concerns. We are able to use 15% of our funding to provide for public services. So that's where we help with emergency homeless prevention, where we offer funding for medical transportation for seniors, and most recently for individuals with disabilities. So we like to survey the public to better understand what their needs are. So in a couple of years, if siding's no longer an issue, we can go through the proper process, follow our citizen participation plan, reach out to HUD and say, hey, maybe we want to do roofing as a project. So we are able to, based on the input from residents, be able to address the needs that they bring to us.
Contact the city's Public Assistance Department for more information.
Thanks for joining us today. If you have a good story idea, let us know. You can email us at OFallonTV@OFallon.mo.us. Always remember to give back to your community, because O'Fallon matters to all of us.